Good morning, mathematicians. Ordinary office hours today. Oh, looks like that volume's spiking a bit. I'm loud. Ordinary office hours today, yeah. But I have no idea what we're gonna do. Maybe, I've been thinking a little bit about analytic number theory type things. Maybe some graph theory stuff. There's a graph theory paper I had open a moment ago. We could check that out. Good morning, Costa Cachori. Well, I didn't mean to minimize chat. Give you an office hour with nothing. Boneless office hours, yeah. Yeah, the G interview seems to be popping off. It seems to be popping off, and yeah, I guess you guys do have same opinion on category theory. That's friggin' based. No, but I know what you're actually talking about. Wow. I even slaved away playing chess games, and and yet you refuse to watch, Boris. Good morning, Arad. Yeah, the square hole meme. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. But like I've said, I always go back and forth on this point though. And I think I said this in the video because yeah, sometimes when I stop and think about it, I'm like, yeah, it's kind of stupid. Everyone's just trying to jam everything into how about some K theory office? Okay, yeah, we could talk about some K theory. Why not? But what was I gonna say? I had a thought there. I was finishing. But right, yeah. So it on one hand it gets kind of annoying that it's like, oh, let's just categorify everything and just assume it'll make things better. On the other hand, that's kind of what we do in math, right? We have a new we develop a new tool and we push it as far as we can. So I don't know. Yeah. K needs to learn some K theory. We'll never forget Quill and Sussman D tier. Okay. Algebraic K theory. Well, let's go find. I don't know. Let's go find an algebraic K theory book. Because I know a lot more about topological K theory. The K book. I mean, it's literally the K book, and it's by Weibel. I don't think it's gonna get better than that. Yeah, the problem is that there's cool category stuff. There's a program at your uni soon on Hochschild homology. Any tea on that? I don't know much about it. Trace methods are one of the best approaches to computing K theory. I guess I'll find out about that soon. The K book is so ass, really? Why? Arad has a blog post. Okay. I got his I got your blog on speed dial. Probably keeps dozens of tabs open. Yeah. Oh, this is from stuff that you read in the book. I'm lost already. maybe we should find a source on growth and decrease rock theorem. This is already way too above my pay grade at Rad. Yeah. THH, topological Hochschild homology. Why do you guys say this book is ass? What should I look at instead? This is all K-Naught. Let's go Whitehead group. Let's jump ahead. Something we're not ready for. Let's jump right the heck ahead. Couple more pages. K1 and K2. Okay. K is an associative ring with unit. Introduce the classical definitions of these groups. These definitions only use linear algebra and elementary group theory. Oh, well, there we go. Jardin's lecture notes. Okay, Boris. Jesus. You gotta shouting at me here. Jardin K theory notes. Fundamentals of hierarchy. Is it this one? No, this just jumps us to chapter 5. Have I seen that woman who makes videos on tinned sardines? No. Is this what you're talking about? This must be what you're talking about. I guess we start at number 1. I guess we start at lecture 01, right? Ooh, K-theory of finite fields. I like finite things. Okay. Categorical homotopy theory. The classifying space of a category is the simplicial set. Man, fine. I'm like okay with simplicial sets, but if we're starting off with simplicial sets here, can I explain the homotopy extension property? Maybe I should do a video on that at some point. I mean, I guess the thing to start with is the short answer is no. Short answer is no. I can't explain it right off the bat now. But I think the thing to start with is, like, if you go look, it's even in Moncrief. You'll find this in an actual algebraic topology textbook, but you can also find it in Moncrief's or something even. The point is that if you have a covering of a space X, and you have a loop in X, so maybe, let's consider the circle, and let's consider, I drew it the wrong way. The circle wrapping around itself twice or something. If you take a loop in the base space, you can lift it. You can pick a pre-image of the base point, and you can lift it. I maybe should have gone, whatever. I'm going clockwise, so whatever. I'll go this way, and then you can lift it to a loop. You can lift it to a path in in the space above, right? So maybe the first thing to go look at, the first example to go look at is the example of covering spaces, and go and understand the proof. Go and understand the proof that says you can lift homotopies along coverings. When can you lift in general? I actually don't know. So I literally can't recall all the conditions of the homotopy extension property. But the first thing you do is you go. The first thing you do is you go and you learn the covering. You've been reading stuff about cell complexes. Okay. I mean, either way, the first case of it, basically, you should do is go and look at the covering space result. K-theory of finite fields is itself pretty difficult. Really? It was just, what about F2? What's a K-theory of F2? All those the first K groups that were computed. This doesn't make me want to learn algebraic K-theory. Topological K-theory seems so much more inviting to me. Like, I get vector bundles. And all of a sudden here we're, chapter 0.1 and we're talking about simplicial sets and con blah blah blah. I mean, I don't know. I'm cooked. I feel like I'm cooked on the infinity category stuff. So yeah, this is the most general lifting condition for maps. But honestly, I need to sit down and relearn this, teach myself this before I go about trying to explain it to anyone else. I've used it before. I know that I've proved things about it in an algebraic topology course, but it's just gone from my head. This is a thing that just didn't stick. I'm just not meant to be a homotopy boy, I guess. There's a really nice paper by Stephen Mitchell about Lichtenbaum-Quillen conjecture. Most of it is on homotopy theory, but first few sections are a nice overview of algebraic K-theory. Hey, Daysen. I think I haven't seen you for a while. Yeah, Rod is blue. Do not forget a Rod. Where did blood see infinity category? Well, we're talking about con complexes here. We're talking about simplicial sets and con complexes. I mean, I'm hallucinating them now because I'm traumatized by trying to spend 8 hours learning about them. Homotopy theory of finite discrete topological spaces. You think G's model of categories was a good one? Eldin Elmato's A1 homotopy theory review. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think this is for me. Like, chapter 1 is just a whole bunch of review of technical stuff I don't understand. Homotopy colimits. Yeah, maybe we should spend the rest of stream trying to learn the homotopy extension property. That's probably more my speed. Whatever. Let's take a look at number 2. Okay, here we go. Here's some things I'm okay with. Modules. Okay. Hang on. Okay, this is okay. Have I read History of Homological Algebra? I think I have it. I think I have history. I think I have it downloaded. I've looked at it, definitely haven't read it properly. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Homotopy extension would probably be very useful, but you know, honestly, almost to the point where I think instead of just spinning my wheels on stream, what I should do is just make a couple videos, teach myself in private, and then when it's fresh in my head, and I understand my own frustrations, then that'll be a good time for me to make a video. What is this crazy ass theory? 9 model structures on set? What is that even? What? That sounds like a crazy theorem. Why 9? What the hell? Short exact sequence of modules. Yeah, we're all in a happy place now. I missed a great category theory named Emma jokes. Wait, did Locke do that? Locke? I missed those jokes too, I guess, and I was here. Okay, got app recently. Well, I don't have it yet, but I'm actively trying to get it. I'm actively trying to get HEP. No. Yeah. Okay. So maybe that's high up on my to-do list. Maybe that's high up on. I'll put that higher on my to-do list, I think. I need to make my next representation theory video, as well. PR. That's the full sub the finitely generated projective modules. Walk barefoot in a hospital? So E is a class of exact sequences. Okay. Not all monomorphisms are admissible. Interesting. Finitely generated R modules for Noetherian ring. Vector bundles on a scheme. Oh, these are just examples of exact categories, I see. You love when papers/reviewers say the responsibility for any mistakes is mine. Just once you'd like to say the responsibility for any mistakes is my friend Joe. Yeah. Am I interested in the mathematical sciences? That is an interesting question. Bark, bark, bark. Because this is a channel. I mean, here's a question. Are there any mathematical sciences? Perhaps none of math is a science. But this is indeed a mathematics channel for people who are totally math pilled. Is this another way to study algebraic K-theory? Yeah. I mean, this is what algebraic K-theory is all about. Modules. PR is the category of pull requests. What are the morphisms? Okay. I should probably be reading some of these results, but suppose we have an exact category. Define an equivalence relation in all pictures by saying top and bottom in the pictures. Interesting. The category QM has for all objects all objects of M, and then morphisms are equivalence classes of these. This is very reminiscent of the derived category. Hi Mom, how's it going? Love you. Hopefully it's not too frozen. It's +6 over here right now. But this is not math. Real math is analysis. How? This is not real math? What did you just say? You mean K-theory is not real math? That's it. Time out for you. 1 minute. That's what you get. You like Jardin? His proofs are super clean and he has a lot of examples. Examples are good. Empirical sciences? I mean, I guess I'm interested. I don't know. What does it mean to be an empirical science? Is math an empirical science? You choose the axiom system. I guess it's empirical in the sense that you have true statements. If you agree to these axioms, then this statement. You could try doing finitely generated projective if and only if locally free. You mean doing the proof right now? In lecture 4, he introduces spectra to introduce the Davisage theorem. You're going to start on your geometric calculus app again. Okay, well. We'll see how that goes. You always thought that the Q construction and localizations of categories have some connection. There's even an unanswered overflow post about that. Interesting. He was talking about K-theory, the channel, not the theory. Not sure about the Q, but weak equivalence part of the S construction is just localization. Okay. So since my name is K-theory, does that imply K-theory is my favorite math of all time? No. No, it's kind of, no. My name starts with a K, and I wanted a math name for my channel. That's all there is to it. That's all there is to it. Okay. So what's this Q construction all about? Okay, so we got some closure under classes. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. Epi for the subcategory of admissible epimorphisms. Now, this is nice. There are a lot of examples and exercises that I should be doing. Okay, then there's an equivalence of groupoids. The fundamental groupoid of QM. Right, so we have K naught of M. What is GQ? What is GQ? That's the magazine I'm always featured in for being so hot. Honeying Loon, we are reading Jardin's notes on K-theory. We're taking a look at Jardin's notes on K-theory. But when was G defined? Was that in lecture 1? Maybe that was in lecture 1. Oh, I'm guessing that's in lecture 1 because it looks like we form a like the B space. So G is like what? Like a pi naught type thing? Pi 1 type? No, but we're using pi 1 in other places. Yeah, what is GQM? Theorem 4.1 and lemma 1.9. Okay, I guess we got to go look at lecture 1. 4.1. Wait, is there a 4.1? I don't think there's a 4.1 in... What are you talking about? Oh, the following. Okay, so that happens later, but... lemma 1.9... Yeah, what is this G? What is this G? Okay, there's a GP, so we're getting close to what G means. Write GC for the free groupoid on a small category. The free groupoid on a small category. The free groupoid. What's the free groupoid? Do you just forget all... You forget... No, you just forget the non-isomorphisms? That sounds more forgetful than free, but... you know if this is related to my studies, but how does one start understanding root systems, starting from algebraic groups? This is related to my studies, and the way that you do it is, well, you go find a book on root systems and algebraic groups, something like Hall, maybe is good for a first pass, and I would say, or go to Fulton Harris, and the very first example you do is SL2C. And then the next example you do is SL3C. And then once you've done the two of those, then you do SLNC. I mean, that's it. And then you basically understand root systems. But that's what you go learn first. And then you do, other algebraic groups or whatever. Waldhausen categories have two parts. G is the fundamental groupoid. Yeah, but what does that mean? What does that even mean? The fundamental groupoid. Well, that seems to conflict. That seems to conflict with the notes I was just reading. The free groupoid. How is that the fundamental groupoid? The nerve? The nerve of some people. Yeah. Why not FG? I don't know. I do deserve to be on the cover of GQ. You're absolutely right. Okay. So whatever this Q construction is, it recovers K naught of our category by taking whatever this groupoid is. Okay, so whatever GQM is supposed to be, it is supposed to be, I guess, the fundamental group. The fundamental group of the associated Kohn complex or whatever. Okay. And why is that good? And who cares? Oh no, how do we get back to how do we get back to where we're supposed to be? Uh Lecture 3. Perhaps it would be nicer to start with lower K theory. Yes, it would be nicer. That's probably what I should do. Yeah, I have no idea. I have no idea what's going on or why I should care. This is basically Quillen's first big theorem justifying why the Q construction at level 0 is the same as the traditional one. Okay, but who cares? Like, okay, I'll go back to level 1, to lecture 1. Okay. Much of this material in the section was invented by Quillen to describe K theory spaces and originally appeared here. Okay, that is not illuminating. Okay, we have the definition. We define. Yeah, I mean, what part of this is supposed to be illuminating? Like, I don't see any exposition here explaining the big idea. I mean, okay, look, this does look like a nice set of notes to learn from, but I don't see why this is. I don't see anything that's telling me why I should care about the Q construction. Like, I'm guessing that higher homotopy groups of the Q construction, I'm guessing that's how we define the higher K groups, right? And the fact that it agrees at the 0 level, yeah. If I worked in the kitchen, did I start my bachelor's late in my 20s or paid for everything part-time? I first went to university in my early 20s for like a year. Um, and then I dropped out. And then I went back and forth. I sort of took the odd class here and there for a couple years. My parents had set aside some money for me, but unfortunately, I squandered it because it's some like joint account where your parents fund some of it and the government matches some of it, and then I didn't use it in time or something, so I basically squandered most of it. And then, yeah, I was working in kitchens, and then for a while I just wasn't in school at all. And then when I went back around like 2015, yeah, so I was in my mid 20s at that point, and then taking school more seriously. And then I took out loans. Except loans in Canada, I mean, it's still not cheap, but loans in Canada don't mean that you're in indentured servitude for the rest of your life, unlike in the States. But who knows? Maybe Alberta will be part of the States soon, because America seems to be backing up the growing separatist movement here. Um, Perhaps it'd be nicer to put cute little cupcakes at the front of the shop to lure people in. That would be nicer. What am I looking at? This is a 2-page thing. Okay, but these 2 pages will give me the motivation I need. We'll see. You're scared to ask how the free groupoid is defined. Well, we could go back and read it properly. It's right up here. It's not that bad, Dason. It's not that bad, I think. There's a bit of matrices slander in the bivector Discord, and Leo has claimed you are an impressionable child. It should be left adjoint to forgetful functor. Yeah. What I just said is what he says in lecture 2. You mean he explains the Q construction in lecture 2? Is that what you're saying? Because he didn't yap as much as other authors. Yeah, I mean, that would be... I think, like I said, I think I would really appreciate these notes if I needed to get down to business and learn K-theory. But I don't know. But I need some yapping right now. Because I have no idea what's going on. I don't remember exactly how it worked. I mean, it wasn't. I don't think it was enough to have even paid for all of my schooling. If it hadn't all gone away, I'm not sure. Maybe mom. I don't know if my mom is still in chat. Maybe she could say, but I think like the government funding part went away. So, anyways, I still technically have a bunch of debt, which pretty soon I'm gonna have to start paying off. So that's something to think about. What's your specialty? I don't know what specifically that comment was in reference to. You see many people shaming PhD students for taking blue-collar jobs to survive. Really? Who's shaming PhD students? Who are these many people? What? We'll subsidize demand and you'll like it. Saw many mathematicians working at McDonald's. Yeah, fair. I don't think you'd have to pay me a lot of money to work at McDonald's. I would work anywhere else. You threw it all away. Bob Dylan, another self-portrait. Huh? Cooking stream, simplicial homologies one. Bob Dylan tier list. I don't know. Are they actually trying to invade Canada? I don't know. It definitely seems like they're trying to take out convince Alberta to leave though. I just saw something that said a bunch of the people leading the Alberta separatist movement have gone to meetings in the White House, so yeah. How much was I paid in the kitchen? I think I was getting a little bit above minimum wage for whatever minimum wage was at the time. So I don't know what that was at the time. Yeah, I don't even know. Could have been somewhere between like $11 to $13 Canadian. So I don't know. I was living paycheck to paycheck. I know that. I was in the kitchen, I should say, actually, but around the time I went back to school seriously, I think I was still in the kitchen for the first year of that. And then I left and I got a job, the part-time job doing door-to-door canvassing for an environmental protection agency, canvassing, soliciting donations. Can I make my own food? Wait, what do you mean? Uh, can't everyone? Um, I think I have okay cooking skills. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to like. So nowadays, there's like, cooking competitions and people making crazy stuff all the time. You know, so it's like, and there's lots of people that are interested in, um, uh, cooking at home and really being like good cooks. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm I'm okay. You know. I think I can experiment in the kitchen. I could be creative in the kitchen. You know. Um, I'm not afraid to take chances in the kitchen. There's that. Um, People younger than me largely can't cook. I mean, I did see a post. There was a post on my university's Reddit where people were like, "Oh, PhD doesn't cost anything. Not for math. In fact, you get paid to do a PhD." Yeah, so I'm not worrying about that now. But um, no, I don't eat meat, so I don't cook a good steak. I think I could. I think I could. But I don't. I've definitely cooked plenty of meat when I was cooking in kitchens, but never really at places that did steaks. I was never at anywhere that fancy, so I don't know. You want to do a math PhD in late 20s? Well, then you can. Then you can if you want to. Should you though? Is the other question that I don't know. Um, how much was I paid in, or what was I saying before that? Oh yeah, right. So then I worked part time at an environmental agency, but then even then I realized when I was getting my ass kicked by some of the more advanced courses, I was like, I don't have time to be working this much. So then, uh, yeah, in the last couple of years, I still worked. I still worked part time for the environmental agency, but I really the thing is I could choose my what days I wanted to work and what days I didn't. So I really started working a lot less, and then I leaned into student loans. Um, yeah, we stopped hating the only math that's pure and good and true midway through your rep theory course. Well, I would hope so. Um, my story will. Do I want my story to resemble Yi Tang Zhang? Wasn't he like 40 and working at Subway? I don't want that. Uh, yeah. I am kind of a fishtarian, yeah. I said cutting edge research only happens in academia. Um, Technically, it could happen in industry too, right? There are, like there's for sure there's cutting edge things being developed in weapon systems and in finance and in drug development and in cryptography, and there's cutting edge stuff there. um, but yes, generally for pure mathematics is just not possible, really very very unlikely to make any contributions, unless you are in academia. Whenever you don't have anything for the weekly meetings with my advisor, do I bring food to the meetings? uh, uh, no, but maybe I should. What do I mean, pure and good and true? I meant what I said. I meant what I said. I'll leave it up to you to interpret it. Working at an environmental agency as a grad student is exclusive for rich people. Uh, what do you mean by rich? What do you mean by rich exactly? I was living in a place with the cheapest rent I could possibly find. I was going into debt. I'm now tens of thousands of dollars in debt uh, because I was working part time canvassing door to door for an environmental group, uh, and I'm still so. I still technically my net worth is in the negatives. So I don't know what you mean by rich exactly there, Boris. Um, you know, 50 in Burger King for K. God, I hope not. There is a K in the name, though. You're right, Boris. That's a bad omen. Do I know any mathematicians who are doing in pure mass in industry? Yeah, I mean, there's people for sure. There's people doing pure math in industry. There's people. Do I know any personally? I can't name any off the top of my head. Actually, I met this one woman. I don't remember her name, but I met this one woman who like basically runs the books for a company half her time, and the rest of her time she publishes pure math. So it happens, but this is more the exception than the rule. Um, and yeah, AI advancements made by mathematicians and tech companies, sure. Good morning, Ken. What do I mean, cryptography bad? Wait, who said cryptography bad? Oh, Leo said cryptography bad. Yeah. Only the rich door to door canvas. Yeah. I'm pretty sure my coworkers were like the poorest people I've ever known. Uh, how's the postdoc? Well, nothing confirmed yet, and I was supposed to hear back about Spain by the end of this week, and I haven't yet. But I emailed him, so we'll see. Yeah, I guess we'll see if I have an email in my inbox after stream. Um, yeah. Um, yeah, and I know, Leo, that you're joking around. But that was probably for Locke. Uh, what you meant is it's risky just for the reasons you mentioned. Things are good for society. Things that are good for society usually don't pay well. Yeah. How much money yearly to focus entirely on research full time in dollars? Well, I don't focus on research full time. I'm a PhD the university pays me. What's my yearly income this year from the university? It's probably like 24,000 Canadian. And that's not for purely for research. Most of that is for me to grade papers. So, yeah. Is there a reference to read right before this book by Chardin? I don't know. Look up sardines. Yeah. You're back. Did I learn all of K theory? Yep. So now I know it all, and we'll never talk about it again because I already know it. Yeah. Finally unsubscribed then. Yeah. Yeah, just 24,000. That is so low. Yep. Yep. 24 Canadian, by the way. 24 Canadian. That is a different number than in USD, that's for sure. So I make less than minimum wage in my city. Uh, I'm in my PhD. I'm almost done my PhD. I'll be done my PhD this semester, most likely. Anyway, speaking of that, I should probably go and get to work on my thesis to make sure that that's true. So thanks everyone for keeping me entertained and distracted, as I hopefully have done for all of you. And QED.